How was the camping trip?
Camping was fun. It wasn't as hot as last year, but it was good for the boys to be, out together and with little phone service, and so it was cool for our guys to connect and in a different type of setting, other than the football field. So we had a good time, and I don't know, it was a lot of fun, and then just to step away from football for a second, it was really good.
Anybody impersonate you?
No comment on that. There were people that were really funny, and yeah, it was a good time. Yeah, I mean, there's not really much. There's other people on our staff that you can make fun of way more than me. So, and I try to motivate our players to do that a little bit in the skits.
After reviewing the film, what did you make of the scrimmage?
Defense was really good. Offense made some bad decisions, but we saw some really good things from the offense. We're still physical up front, but there's a lot of things that we need to clean up, and that's kind of what with our defense flying around and adding a little bit more to the blitz package and coverages. I think it was meant to confuse the offense a little bit more, and they create some turnovers and create some big plays, and that was kind of lacking from the first scrimmage. But hopefully on this Thursday and throughout these practices, our offense kind of responds a little bit differently. But defense got the better of that scrimmage, and we'll see how it goes from this week on. And defense did well again today, and we saw some good things from the offense. But it's going to be back and forth, and they're getting to the point where they're really getting sick of playing each other. And there's a lot of tendencies and a lot of things that are kind of showing up, and they kind of know certain plays, certain blitzes. So it's not really a true evaluation. But the thing that we're excited to see is the physical part of the game, the technique, and the fundamentals that are improving every day.
Did the team activity over the weekend kind of indicate a phase of camp ending and moving into a different kind of phase this week a little bit, or not really?
A little bit, and we're still getting in the transition. I mean, we're now in the mornings rather than the afternoons, trying to get into the game, in season, in our in-season type of schedule, but we still have time where school hasn't started yet, and so we have a little bit more extra time that we can do film and do some walkthroughs and stuff like that. But you also want to transition this week into getting ready for Portland State, doing a lot of full-time Portland State. So it's not like if we start too early, then it becomes stale as well. So we want to make sure that we spend the right amount of time getting our finishing and polishing stuff up on our offense, defense, and special teams, and then when we get to our in-season mode and we start scouting Portland State, that it becomes basically part of everything's this foundation, everything's been set, and we kind of go into our in-season schedule.
How would you assess the physicality of the wide receivers?
Oh, they're doing a great job. I think Coach Cahoon's teaching them well, and they do a great job running routes. And we've said it before, they're just not your common names that people have heard, but I think that they'll start to emerge as our game breakers and playmakers. I mean, I kind of throw tight ends in there because they're part of the mix, and our running backs catch the ball too. So receiving the football in the passing game is not just about the receiver position itself. It's also about how we're able to work the passing game, not just all about one position group. But if we're speaking about receivers specifically on the physical part, they're doing a great job, and they're having to go against some great and tough defensive backs.
Austin Kafentzis has moved. I guess Ben Cahoon said he moved from quarterback to wide receiver. Now he's a running back.
Mm-hmm.
What about him makes it so valuable to play in different positions?
Yeah, he has a natural feel for running the ball. You can kind of see what he did in high school, extending plays with his feet, and so it kind of made sense for us to. He knows the offense because of that introduction as a quarterback, but I think the running back's probably more suited towards him. But he's going to do some stuff with the wide receivers also. It's kind of he's our athlete, and we're just trying to find a place for him. And I just think he can help us win games, and so as a coaching staff, we're trying to be creative in how we use our guys, and he's one of them that I think can really help us.
Do you feel like you're often?
Does that speak to the depth of wide receiver, maybe, that you kind of have the luxury to move a guy like Austin around a little bit?
Yeah, sure, and I think it also speaks to Austin's athletic ability. And I think he knows that Tanner's the quarterback, the starting quarterback, so he can help us out and win games by other ways, which is playing receiver, special teams, and also playing running back. So I'm glad that he's a great teammate and that he's bought into what we've asked him to do, and he just wants to contribute any way he can and help us win.
Adam Holtzber's a guy that's gotten a lot of first-team reps, at least from what we've seen. Can you maybe talk about him and his progress?
Yeah, he's doing a great job at he's been around the system. He's played a lot of different positions, and he has a little bit of game experience from last year. But we like what we see from him. I think Isaiah Kafusi's doing a good job there too, and saw some stuff from Morgan Unga in camp. But we have a good group. I think Christian Folau got a pick today, so we're kind of trying to get everybody developed, and then as soon as we start sinking the reps into the guys that are going to play, I think we can kind of see who's going to be the best players for us and be the best 11 on the field.
You feel like your offensive line is set for the most part at this point?
I think the depth is set, and I think we have the right guys, the 12 that we're going to travel, and it's just a matter of who's going to win different spots. And I think we still can compete, but there's going to be some opportunities that we're going to rotate guys, and we'll have more bodies that can help us win at O-line, and that's kind of what the goal we wanted to accomplish last year, is trying to get more depth, and not just depth, but depth that can start games for us.
It's rare that a freshman can step in on offense and play right away, but it looks like Matt Bushman is what makes him so kind of stand out that he can get time right on.
Oh, the guy can catch, and he runs routes, and he's a big target, and he's athletic. He's getting better as a blocker, and he's gained weight, so he's big. But I think Moroni and Steve Clark's done a great job preparing him, and that whole position group has gotten a lot better. And then we're committed to the tight end position, so hopefully he can help us win games. And maybe you've seen him run around enough that you can tell there's something special about him. But he's humble, and he's willing to work hard, and he's even willing to block for others. And so that usually makes a great player for us, and not really concerned only about catching balls. He does all the little things too.
How close are you on the depth chart? Are you going to put one out, or are you going to wait till the game week?
Really close. I'm going to take a survey with all the media and see what you guys think the depth chart is, and then completely go opposite of it, just so we try to prove that we know more. No, I think there's some spots that are still up for grabs, and whether someone's not taking the lead or everyone's stepping up. I like to think it was the second part, that everyone's stepping up and making it harder to decide who's going to run the ball for us, who's going to block for us, but I don't have any problems with doing it by committee. It's kind of how it works. I played with Ronnie Jenkins, who wasn't a starter. He was behind Brian McKenzie. And that's you have to use more than just one guy at running back and one guy at O-line. It's a team effort, and the goal is to get the best 11 to take the first snap in the game, and that's what we're going to try to get to. And you're worried about the next 20, right? So I get that too, but I think there's guys that are going to be on the depth chart that will have different packages for them that will give us a better opportunity to score and to stop guys on defense. So it's hopefully as soon as we can. I think this week we'll start to form a little bit more and get ready for next week, and I think we'll have someone established by then.
How comfortable are you with the kicking game at this point?
I feel comfortable with Rhett. He got stronger in the off season, so I think he got a longer range. Obviously, you want to score more touchdowns and kick field goals, but we were good in the red zone as an offense, and a lot of that is because he was able to make good field goals. Now if we can extend it a little bit more, we're kind of testing him in his leg strength a little bit more, but he's definitely stronger with his leg. Matt Foley's been our snapper for 2 years, and this is his third year now, and Johnny's been punting for a while, so we're lucky to get that year with him, an extra year, and so I think that's a good experienced group. The key would be getting the best returner for us. I think Tanner Jacobson's doing great at punt return, but Micah Hanneman can do it too, and Jonah trying to make a kick return. Same with Aleva Hefo. So there's a lot of bodies that can do all of it. It's just, I think the return game would be the most important part of who's going to be those guys. But I think the guys that I mentioned are probably going to be the guys taking the reps.
You had said a few weeks ago that John Baca was waiting on classwork or something. Is there any development on that?
Yeah, he's here. He practiced last weekend and today, and I think Kyrus was at practice. So I'm trying to think of who else that. Anybody else that you're thinking? So you didn't see John today?
No.
Probably because he goes by Taipei now. So call him by his Tongan name and he'll respond better.
Was the plan to redshirt him, or maybe decided that?
Well, he's one of those bodies that can play either O-line or D-line, and so we're kind of waiting to see. We've got some guys that are banged up, and so we're kind of waiting to see when we plan to get guys back and how he fits into into everything. So there's a chance he could play D-line, there's a chance he could play O-line, there's a chance he could redshirt. So,
Can Kyrus
Good
do enough
question.
here in the next couple weeks to maybe travel with you guys, or?
yeah, Kyrus has been with us. He's just been cleared to play now, and so he knows the defense. He just wants to get the pads on and hit somebody, and I like that about him. So I think he'll be a factor for us in the first game.
Last question.